video. So in today's video, we're going to continue on with my mini series called Use Up Your Paper. And this is a highly requested video because I've been doing tons of videos and ideas for 12 by 12 paper. And even beyond this series, I've been giving ideas on my channel and doing tutorials to use up your 12 by 12 paper. But today we are going to do a project using up a 6 by 6 paper pad. So I'm still loving the Chasing Dreams collection. So we are going to do a really fun project today using up this 6 by 6 pad. Now, I'm going to give you a full tutorial and show you all the materials you're going to need. This project is going to be a really simple but really adorable cardstock mini album. I bet you already have everything in your stash that you're going to need. And so just get out some cardstock, your 6 by 6 paper pad, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need is some cardstock, and you're going to need 5 pieces, and I'm going to give you the measurements to those 5 pieces. You're going to need some plain cardstock. Now, I used the 110-pound cardstock from Michaels, and the more sturdy the cardstock, the better your album is going to turn out. Any thicker cardstock, it's going to work much better for this album and make it more sturdy. But like I said, I absolutely love the 110-pound cardstock that they have at Michaels. So here are the measurements you're going to need to cut your cardstock. And like I said, there's 5 pieces. So the first piece is 9 3/4 by 6 1/4. And then you need one that measures 9 1/2 by 6 1/4. 9 1/4 by 6 1/4, 9 by 6 1/4, and 8 3/4 by 6 1/4. So that's the measurements that you're going to need for your solid cardstock. With this cardstock, let's go ahead and get it prepped. It's really simple. You are going to need a scoring board for this. So I have the Martha Stewart one. I also have the mini one, which will work as well, but this is the one that's just near me right now, so I'm going to go ahead and use it. So with all 5 pieces of your cardstock, you're going to put it in this long ways. So this is the one that happens to measure 9 3/4 by 6 1/4. What you're going to do is you're going to do the same thing for every sheet. You are going to score in at 4 1/4. Make sure you get a really nice score line. And then you're going to take your paper, flip it all the way around like this, and score in again at 4 1/4. That's the easiest way to do this because every single one is going to be scored on both sides at 4 1/4. So every page from the score line over is going to be 4 1/4. And the middle gussets are going to get smaller and smaller as your pages go on. So that's the first one. Let's do the next one. So this is the one that measures 9 1/2 by 6 1/4. So let's put it in on the 9 1/2 side and do the same thing. Score in at 4 1/4. Get a nice score crease. Then you're just going to flip it around and again score in at 4 1/4. Okay, so now that little middle panel is a little bit smaller than the one we did before. Okay, so let's do one more here in regular time. Here's the one that measures 9 1/4 by 6 1/4. And again, we're going to score in at 4 1/4. And then flip it around. And again at 4 1/4. Okay, so there's that one. And I've got 2 sheets left. I'm going to go ahead and score these the same way, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now we have all of our solid cardstock scored, and we're just going to go ahead and get our bone folder and go ahead and fold on all the score lines. So we'll start with the biggest one and get some nice creases. So this is how it kind of looks now. So go ahead and do that for all of your pages. Okay, so now that we have our cardstock all scored and folded, Now you're going to need to get your Scor tape. So this is double-sided tape. You can use any kind of double-sided tape that you have, but I really recommend Scor tape. This is awesome. It's really strong. This is the 1/4 inch size, which is my favorite size, and I'll link it below just in case you don't know where to find it. I will link some below. And it's just really handy because you don't need scissors. You can tear this, and it's, like I said, really strong adhesive, so I really recommend it. And what you're going to do is you're going to get your pages prepped. So this page here, which is going to essentially be your cover, you don't need to put any Scor tape on this one. So put that one aside, and you're going to work with these 4 pieces here. So let's go ahead and take the first one. So we're going to work with this first page. Here's the outside. Here's the outside of it. And you're going to go ahead and put it face down like this. And on the spine, you're going to cover this with Scor tape. So I'm going to turn it this way so I can work with it better. But you're going to take your Scor tape and go ahead. Don't cover where the Scor lines are, but just go right at the Scor line and start covering this with Scor tape. So just take it all the way from the top to the bottom. And you can fit 3 pieces of 1/4 inch Scor tape on this first one. Okay, so now we have this one all ready and prepped, and this is how it should look now. It's all ready with the Scor tape, and I like to go ahead and just crease this all down so the glue stays really well. That's burnishing it down with my bone folder. And so now we're done with this one for now, so let's set it aside and get the next size. So open it again, face down like this. Here's the front covers. And let's turn it this way again, and again you're going to just put Scor tape on the outside of the spine. Just the outside, not the inside. Okay, so let's bring these back in. We've got the big one that we didn't add any tape to at all. So the first thing that you're going to do is take your big piece here. So you're going to take your big piece here, open it up. This is the inside, this is the outside. And take the next size, which is this one. And what you're going to do is you're going to peel these off, and you're going to center it right here and glue it down. Okay? So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be gluing this inside here, and it's going to give you a tiny little gusset on either end. Do you see that? Right there and right there. And that is going to give us room to decorate this and not make it so bulky, and it's kind of like stacking them. So Laura Dennison a long time ago came up with the stack the deck binding system. I will try to find that video and link it below. So this is kind of just a play on that, only I'm using full sheets, and that's actually going to be our pages of our album. To get these off. Okay, so I'm removing the Scor tape. And then this part, I mean, once it's down with this stuff. So you've got to make sure you get it really, really straight the first time. So sometimes, if you're nervous, if you take a glue stick, and make sure it's a permanent glue stick, and just kind of run it over your Scor tape a little bit, it gives you like maybe a split second more time, but still it's pretty tough. So with Scor tape, it's just so strong. Now this little tip with your ATG gun, it's Genevieve Designs, I think her channel is. She's the one who recommended that, and that does work a lot better. But this Scor tape is so strong that you really need to try and get it straight the very first time. So if you need to practice with, you know, the dry paper first several times, do that, because it's so tricky to get this straight the first time. And I'll tell you right now, I have ripped up so many pieces of cardstock in my time, but I'm gonna go ahead and try to get this straight. I think I got it. Like I said, that little glue stick trick gives you a split second more time. I think I did pretty good. It's a little bit off, but it's not gonna make a huge difference. this like this. It's looking pretty good. So then you're going to take your next page and do the same thing. You're going to take this, center it on here, and glue that down. Okay, so I just glued down the last page. And now we have a really cute album base to decorate. Here it is so far. So here's all of our pages, and it lays flat like this because we did the stacking method. And here's all the pages. And this is the middle, and then it continues. And that score tape is so strong. You can just keep, take your bone folder and kind of burnish the pages down and crease them down as you turn. There we go. So see how the album is like stacked like this and this way? There are gussets there. So now all we have to do is decorate this thing, and this is the fun part, right? So let's put the album aside, and you're gonna go ahead and get your 6x6 paper pad out. And again, I'm using the Chasing Dreams by Maggie Holmes and Crepe Paper. Okay, so from that 6x6 pad, the Chasing Dreams, you're gonna need 20 pieces that measure 4x6. And so remember to cut it 6 inches long by 4 inches wide. And what that's going to do is it's going to leave you these strips here that measure 2x6. So see what I mean? That was the entire 6x6 piece. So you're going to need all of these as well for the album, and I'm going to show you where in just a second. Put those strips aside for now, and we're going to bring our book in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and round my corners. And what that does is it kind of protects the album from the corners being bent, and it also gives it a more finished look. So I like to take my We Are Memory Keepers corner chomper, and I take it on the 1/4 inch side, and I'm going to go ahead and round all these corners. Okay, so I finished rounding all the corners, so I really like that. And so that means we're going to have to round the corners on these as well, but I'm going to show you that in just a minute. So the first thing we're going to do is choose one of these sheets to be the cover. Now I like to decorate my cover, so I want to get a more subtle print. This one's really nice. Oh my gosh, I really like that too. So I think I'm going to actually go with this one here. That is really gorgeous for the cover. So what I'm going to do is just round the 2 right corners to go and match the base. So it's going to be just like this. So now that matches the rounded corners of the base. Okay, so I've chosen my cover, but we're not going to glue this down yet because I'm going to show you something we're going to do at the very end before we glue this down to the cover. So at least we have this chosen, and then let's go ahead and choose our back cover. I want to do a pretty plain one back there, like maybe this. I'm going to do this one on the back cover. So let me go ahead and round the 2 corners. And now our back cover is chosen right there. I'm going to go ahead and take these 2 pages that I've chosen and put them aside. We're not going to need them for a little while because right now what we're going to do is go through and mat all of these pages with our gorgeous paper. So the order that you go in doesn't matter. Just go ahead and make sure whichever ones you mat that you're rounding the corresponding corners. So if it goes like this and like this, you're going to round those 2 corners and those 2 corners, so that way it matches the base page. And I'm just using my ATG gun to adhere the pages. Okay, so now that we have our album all covered, isn't that so pretty? I have covered every single page in our album. Oh my gosh, I just love this paper so much. Now let's go ahead and work on our front cover, our spine, and our back cover. So this measures 1 1/4 inch. So I'm going to take one of the scraps that we have and cut it down to 1 by 6. So it was already 6 inches long, and I just cut it down to 1 inch wide. And we're going to go ahead and stick that right here on the spine. But before we do that, and before we cover our front and back covers, I'm going to get some seam binding so we have a closure for this. So this is my seam binding collection that I've got going, and I just want to pick a color that's going to go really well with the album. So what I like to do is kind of double up like this, and I'll just measure how much I need. So let's see, that looks good. And then I'm just going to take my scissors. There's not really a certain, length you need. It's just whatever you want. So I'll take my scissors and trim that. And before you put your paper down, you're going to go ahead and glue the seam binding. So find the center of your album and just lay it flat. Go about 1/4 inch away from the edge and just lay down some ATG, just like this, and that way the seam binding will sit on there and it won't move around. So I'm just going to place it like this, just so it doesn't doesn't move around. So I'm going to place one piece like this, and then I'm just going to kind of run my ATG over the other piece and lay it on top. So it's not going to be completely flat, but you'll be able to cover it well with the paper. So let's do the back cover first. It's going to cover it like this. So be pretty generous with the ATG tape for your covers, because it is going to be covering that ribbon as well, or the seam binding. And you can use ribbon if you want. You can just use one piece of ribbon across here. That might be a little bit more flat for you, but I just love seam binding so much, so I want to use that. But like I said, be generous with the glue on your covers. Okay, so I'm really creasing that down and burnishing it. So look at our book now. Isn't this beautiful? And we've got our closure right here with the gorgeous seam binding. And there's the back. So we can tie this in a bow when we're all done. But let me show you the inside. So I did the little quick flip through already, but I'm going to show you what you can do with these scraps right here. So we're going to take some of our scraps and we're going to cut them down. And I'm going to pick this page over here and choose 3 scraps that go with this page. So I'm going to choose this one. Of course, the butterflies. We'll do the polka dots. So you're going to take 3 strips. So with these 3 strips, you're going to cut them down to 2 inches by 4 inches. So they're already 2 inches across. You just need to make these 4 inches now. Okay, so it does leave you with little scraps like this, and you can use these, in your DIY embellishments. You can use these to layer things, so hold on to those because you might need them. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to take your 3 pieces and you're going to take a punch. So I happen to have this scallop circle punch, and I got it at Hobby Lobby, and it's just 1.5 inches. And you can use any circle punch for this, because all you're going to do is you're going to take this, one of your strips, and go eyeball the middle and just go a little less than halfway and make a little notch. See? Just like this. So you're going to do that on all 3 of your little strips that have a little notch cut out. And this is going to be a layered pocket, and it's going to be so cute. We've got a triple pocket on this page, and the piece that you choose to go on the bottom, you need to round this left bottom corner because this is rounded, remember? So just take out your rounder and make sure that left bottom corner is rounded so it matches up perfectly with the page there. So take the bottom two off, and you're going to start with the top one, and you're going to use wet glue for this. So you're just going to go a bead down the side, the bottom, and the other side. Then take your album and again eyeball where you want to start it, right there. And your first pocket is down. All you need to make sure of is that when you layer these, that you can fit all three of them to reach the bottom, and it's lined up at the bottom. So let's go ahead and do this one. Go ahead and place it down right below that one. Isn't this so cute? So now we have a cute little pocket page here. So you can choose to do this on more pages if you want. So now what you're going to do is you're going to leave this the length that it is, but you're going to go ahead and round the two left corners. So use the same corner chomper and see how this lines up perfectly like this. So that matches the page perfectly. We're just going to do the same thing, only we're going to do it in the center this way. Make a little notch, eyeball the center, and we're going to make a side loading pocket right there. Isn't that easy? So you just do the same thing. You take your scrap, you just do the sides and the bottom with your wet glue. Then just line it up on that page and glue it down. And now you can put all kinds of ephemera in there, little journaling cards, anything. And look at, you have a cute little pocket now. Okay everyone, so with these scraps, I'm going to go through my album, I'm going to add some more pockets, and I'm going to come back and show you what you can put in the pockets using these scraps. Okay everybody, so I went ahead and made some more pockets with the scraps, and so let me show you what I did. So I put one here on the front cover, and I added one here. I decided to keep that black and white, and I'll put some colorful stuff inside there. And then I did a side loading pocket over here. And then this one, of course. This one is the center of the album. I just left blank just so two photos can fit on here. And then of course our cute one here that we made with the triple pockets. This one I did a double pocket. I brought some yellow into this page. I thought that was really pretty. And then this one is the back cover, and I just added, you know, a single pocket like the front cover. And then there's the back. So what I did with the rest of the scraps, cut them down to 4 inches, so it's like 2 by 4, and I angled the two top corners with my We Are Memory Keepers angle punch, because I have a tag punch where you can just stick it in and then it makes the hole and the two angles, but it's not here in my craft room. I think I have it in my little craft caddy, so I just went ahead and used my angle punch, and you can just take a hole punch and punch it. You can also just cut this with your scissors. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just going to leave it like this and distribute these throughout the album. They had a cut apart sheet in the 6x6 pad as well, so I might use some of this to decorate the cover. We'll see. You can also cut this up and put it throughout your pockets too. So we almost used, I do have a few pages left in here in the 6x6 pad, but this can be used to cut up into little journaling size cards, like 3x4, and distributed throughout all the pockets as well. So there's lots of journaling room in here. And you can also cut more pages to make more pockets, do whatever you want. I have, like I said, the ephemera, and I have the washi tape, and of course I have the chipboards stickers as well. Let me go ahead and decorate the cover, and I'll go ahead and set it to music so you can see what I decide to do. So I think that just really tied it together. I love how it came out. I love the cover. So let's go ahead and do our final flip through of our cute little cardstock mini album. Okay, so I'm sorry about the lighting. The sun is going down as we speak. So here is our super cute album with tons and tons of pages and pockets and fun ephemera. You can decorate these pages even more with all of your ephemera because we have the gussets, remember? So there's room for this to be decorated and customized any way you want. I love how this came out. And then what you do is you just take, of course, your seam binding closure and tie it in a pretty bow. And that just finishes it off so nicely. Isn't that cute? Okay, everybody, so that is our project with the 6x6 paper pad. You can totally make a bunch of these albums with just cardstock and the 6x6 pad and just get you some of the embellishments, and you can make one of these so easily. It is such a great idea for a gift. You can fill it with pictures, or you can use it as like a pen pal idea and fill it with ephemera and journaling cards and paper samples. I think that this is such a cute album. So easy, minimal supplies, and I hope that you enjoyed it. So if you're interested in any of the stuff that I used in this video, I'm going to link everything below for you so you can shop the video. And if you have any questions, please let me know. I really appreciate you all watching. This was so fun to make, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!